Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Shay Explores Daily, and today we've got another cool video. As you can see behind me, we're at the Tower of London. I'm going to explore the history of this place. It's got a very interesting history and it goes back hundreds of years. There's been many things that have happened here, famous prisoners, famous events, and so on and so forth. In the meantime, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Let's go. So, the palace behind me was founded in 1066 by William the Conqueror, and it was sort of built as a fortress to keep outside forces out. Essentially, the name Tower of London is what everyone knows it as, but that's not the official name. I believe the official name is Her Majesty's Fortress or something like that. I'll get it correct and I'll put it on the screen. But the tower itself was actually London's first official zoo. And as we walk around the tower now, you're going to see some very cool things, some great things and some not great things. So let's go and enjoy it. So guys, the area behind me is called the Moat. The Moat today is known as the Flower Garden, but originally when it was built as a defense ditch to stop enemy combatants getting inside the castle. Today, as you can see, nothing really happens here, but during the Queen's Jubilee in 2022, they actually put lots of flowers and stuff to decorate it, to obviously make it look more appealing. But yeah, the round outside bit here by the entrance is called the Moat. So here you can see a map of the whole tower. So essentially, you've got the Thames here, and then right here would be where Tower Bridge is. So essentially we enter through here now, and I'm literally in this area right here, right on the corner. So as you can see, the huge map is a big fortress. You can see one sort of wall area here, one here, and obviously you've got the bit in the middle, just like how it was back in medieval times. So when you enter the tower, if you turn left straight away, you're going to see something called Mint Street, which is what's behind me. So behind me is where they historically made coins for over 600 years in this tower. And you also learn about the history of it, and also the monarchs who actually wanted the coins being made right here. Obviously today they don't make coins there, as you can see, but it is a very cool museum where you can look in and learn about the history of it as well. So here you can see all the various tools they used to make coins and stuff. As you can see here, you can see some examples of what they used to make. Obviously you can't pick up the tools, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a history of what they are and how it was all made. Here you've got a photo of Elizabeth I, and in 1561 she was an integral part of all of this that you can see here, all of the coins that you can see. She essentially gave her blessing for this to be made. The wall you can see behind me was part essentially of King Edward I's defence at Outer Ring. So from here behind me is where archers used to stand and essentially shoot enemy combatants that were coming in. As you can see, it's quite narrow and you can't get through, but that's why this wall's here. So this painting here illustrates the history of the mint. So for over 600 years this tower made coins right here in the mint, but eventually it got moved to a spot literally just round the corner in Tower Hill. It didn't move very far, and eventually the keys of the mint got handed back to the tower, and the history of it all still remains. Also as well, you can see just some rough examples of coins and stuff. So as you can see here, and so on and so forth. Let's see if I can pull this wheelbarrow. Not a chance. So guys, as you can see here, Yeoman Warders have been part of guarding the tower since I think the 1500s, as you can see. So guys, this place behind me is famously known as Traitor's Gate. So previously the Tower of London used to back right onto the River Thames, and people used to enter the tower through the Thames. So this gate here was a massive entrance for that, and people used to come in, out and so on. I'm guessing by the name Traitor's Gate, people who were in prison came through here, but as you can see, it backs very close out onto the River Thames. So guys, here is an illustration of an archer who would have been standing at this entrance to defend the tower from enemy invaders, basically. So as you can see, the archer stands there, and nothing gets in or out without the approval of obviously whoever the monarch was. So I've walked into now what's known as the medieval palace, built by Edward I and his father Henry III. So in this room behind me is where Edward I used to sleep, and as you can see, it is a room fit for a king, as they say. So essentially, his bedroom obviously is on the top floor, facing out towards the River Thames. But what was interesting is that it's actually pretty much really well designed. You can see the architecture and the build as well, all in this room. So behind me is a chapel as to where they would have prayed. And King Henry VI, I believe, died in here in mysterious circumstances all those years ago. It's said that he was sick, but rumours are is that there was blood on his body when he died. So no one officially knows what exactly happened. So in front of me, you can see something that's been ever present at the tower, and that's ravens. It was believed years ago that once ravens left the tower, it would crumble and collapse. So as you can see, the ravens are obviously here kept well and fed. Here you've got a large set of gun bears from various battles. Some of them were from ships that were recovered, some of them were from other battles. Behind me there is the Wakefield Tower, and in there, that was one of the biggest torture chambers in the whole tower. So if you go in there, you're gonna have a look and see, obviously learn about what happened, and yeah, I learn about the history of it basically. It is a very small exhibition, and it can get quite busy, but it just shows you obviously various methods and so on and so forth. So guys, behind me, this building is known as the King's House, and it's the only surviving Tudor era building in London from that time. All of the others were destroyed in the Great Fire of London in 1666. As you can see, there's a guard behind me, and he's known as the King's Guard. But this whole area here behind me was an area where it was an area of interrogation for various prisoners. Guy Fawkes was brought here, and even as late as the 1940s, there was a German Nazi soldier who was brought here as well. So this has a lot of history, as you can see. So I've come to the Bloody Tower, and these are called porticles, and this is how they raised the gate. So I'm guessing this is how obviously people got in and out of the tower. As you can see, you've got the rope there, you know, you've got the gate, and it would obviously lift up. So this room was the study of Sir Walter Raleigh, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a table there in the middle. I don't know if you can see it, it's quite dark. Behind me, guys, over there is the sculpture in memory of Anne Boelyns. It is believed that is the exact spot where she was executed many centuries ago. So as you go there, you'll see many names going around the memorial. I believe it pays tribute to other people as well who've been executed here as well. But past monarchs since her have actually come and paid tribute to her at that site, basically. So as I mentioned previously, up until the world wars of the 20th century, this place was the site of interrogations and also executions. So these 12 men here were executed by firing squad at this tower during the First and Second World Wars. They were tried and found guilty of espionage. So here you've got a bit about the evidence for the prosecution. And they're saying there's various things here that you can see, such as soap for concealing invisible ink, lemon for secret writing, and so on and so forth. So here you've got a bit about the Yeoman Warders, and as you can see, they've been here for over 500 years, and the origins go back to this man here, Henry VIII. Here you can see an example of their uniforms and also their medals, which they obviously wear with pride. And as you can see here, I think it's really cool, this massive collection there of medals. And on the left hand side, you can see an example of a soldier wearing the uniform with the medals with pride. So as you can see here, they've been present at many ceremonies for centuries. And as you can see, for over 700 years, they are the ones to essentially lock up the tower. The first to open, the last to close it, basically. Previously, I mentioned as well that Tower of London was the first official zoo in London. That is a fact. So the kings and queens of the past had a huge obsession at the time with exotic animals. So in this tower, you had anything from tigers to lions to bears and all sorts actually based here, basically. Sadly, a lot of them did die simply because they couldn't obviously feed them, and obviously couldn't keep them captive because they have to be in the natural environments. But if you would come here 800 years ago, you would have seen a huge range of exotic animals, and sadly the animals did take 1 or 2 lives. Eventually it was shut down, the zoo, and it was moved to the current London Zoo that we know now. But yes, very cool fact. Something that's really cool, guys, is in this tower there is a section dedicated to the history of a tower during the First World War. So 100 years ago, during the First World War, when Britain declared war on Germany in, I think, summer of 1914. Soldiers were stationed and trained here to essentially get prepared for battle. It was essentially like a huge training ground, and this was where they basically done their drills, exercised their plans before they went out to battle, basically, which is really cool. So here you've got a museum dedicated to the Tower's regiment's battle. So as you can see, Northern Ireland up there, Cyprus, and the Gulf War. And you can see a map of all the places where they had obviously battles. Northern Ireland, the Balkans, Cyprus, the Middle East, the Gulf War, and so on and so forth. Here you can see a huge variety of medals on display. So the regiment was founded in 1865 in this tower, and this museum shows all of the history of it, basically. Behind me is a large white tower which stands in the middle of the Tower of London. This here is the most aesthetically pleasing part of the Tower of London. I'm going to go in shortly and have a look and explain the history of it. Inside of it, you're going to see a lot of sort of storage of armor and so on, basically, including some from Henry VIII himself. So let's go inside and have a look. So guys, very important, this white tower in the middle is the oldest tower in the Tower of London. So this, as you can see, is probably the most aesthetically pleasing. It's the one that sticks out the most. It is the oldest tower in the Tower of London. So here I've come into the chapel, basically, of St. John, as you can see. And as you can see, a brief history of this place. Started off in 1078. The question is the chapel still used today? Yes, it is. It is used for regular services by locals around, and they obviously come and sit here. Today it's closed. It's normally closed to tourists and stuff. But yes, it is still in use, and it is still a very important and sacred place. The most impressive thing in here for me will always be the architecture, as it's probably one of the oldest bits in the tower. And as you can see, so a soldier's armor was a show of their strength, and all through this exhibition you'll see various exhibits of armor, swords, shields, plates, and so on. So some of these guns have been here for quite a long time. These guns have been here since, I believe, 1758. So these have been stored here for, you know, centuries, basically, and they're obviously kept in very good condition. Here you've got a statue of what is a winged lion, which was captured in 1809 by British forces in Corfu. As you can see, there's some writing there which translates to "Peace to you, Mark, my evangelist." That is it, guys, for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know, where should I go next? There's some really cool places that I want to see. Let me know, write it down below, and I'll see you on the next video.